What's up guys, this is Crypto with James talking to you today about Alien Worlds. Now this is a game that does have a fair shot of doing something quite well in terms of price appreciation because the user base is growing month on month, and actually the data looks like they are quite comfortably one of the top performing DApps in the crypto space. So we'll take a look at why this can appreciate in price and possibly a couple of concerns. We also need to take a look at what is happening with Jerome Powell's testimony in front of Congress. He's signaled that rate hikes could be bigger and faster. So obviously this is going to have an impact on the market. So we'll take a look at what he said in Congress as well. But before I get into that, guys, if you're new to the channel, these are the first 26 coins that I spoke about on this channel. They're also the first 26 coins I owned when I made this channel. Had you put in just $100 into each of these coins when I released videos about them, and then you never sold them, you know, if you were still holding these right now, firstly, you would have done everything wrong as an investor because you have to sell your investments and bank your profit. But if you sold these coins today, you'd be able to bank around 12k in profit, and that's when you've done every possible thing wrong as an investor. Now, realistically, if you'd have bought these when I was talking about them, you should have sold them when the markets were sort of running rampant in 2021, like I did, like my followers did. And if you had, you would have made a lot more. In fact, you would have made 123 grand if you'd have sold when the markets were boiling in 2021. Now, so what I did is what my friends did, and obviously I don't own these anymore, but if you want to see the coins that I own right now, the ones that I'm invested in for the long term, the ones that I think are going to do the massive gains for the next bull cycle, then you can go over to copymycrypto.com. On the site I share my entire portfolio, and these are the coins, again, I'm invested in long term. They're the ones that I believe are going to be the big winners. And if you want to find the big winners without doing 10 or 15,000 hours of research, then this is a site you want to check out. On a daily basis, we also release a ton, we release a video pretty much every day talking about the markets as well. So we go through, the market moves, if that's something that interests you. And we've been really accurate as well, predicting the exact move of Bitcoin on so many of the days over the last few months. And then on top of that, if you're a beginner, we do have a ton of tutorials that are there. They're step-by-step tutorials. They're the ones that I send friends and family that want to get into crypto. But go read the site. Remember that anything you read you can verify on this channel. And guys, if you don't like it, obviously you don't have to join. But to ignore it would be foolhardy. Go read the site now, and maybe I'll see you there. Now, Alien Worlds. Alien Worlds. So currently priced at 1.9 cents, basically. Now, this market cap is around 65 million, or 64.4 million. And only 35% of the tokens are currently out. But in terms of games, this is one of the most, it's the most played game in the space right now. There's about 500,000 visits to Alien Worlds site per month. That's massively bigger than anything else out there at this moment in time. They use the Trillium token, which has its token economics where you can utilize it to stake. There's a certain amount of Trillium allocated to the planets where you mine on a daily sort of basis. There's also landowners get certain percentages based on fees and fees for Windows, Windows licenses for services all go towards the inflation. There's 450 million TLM in year one, and that then declines over time. Now, what I do like about this is the fact that the user base month on month is growing. The fact of the matter is this is actually doing, in terms of user base, this has grown to a staggeringly large amount. Active miners you can see the active miners in the last hour. You're looking at what, 100 70,000. With spikes on around 170,000. But the 7-day average still knocking around 134,000. The lifetime total miners is over 8 million. People are using this on a constant basis. It is first in DApp games, and we can show that, and second in all DApps. And something to put into context is obviously right now we're in a bear cycle. But when we saw Axie Infinity have its pump, or start beginning its pump, because it was knocking around $1.50, $2, when it had about 10,000 users per month. And I think it reached 50,000 before it was like one of the top 30 market cap coins, top 40 market cap coins. So Alien Worlds is outperforming in a massive, massive way. Now the benefit of Alien Worlds as well is it's a free-to-play game. They're also cross-chain across Ethereum, Wax, and Binance Smart Chain. And you can earn Trillium within the game, within the mining game, and you can stake Trillium to a planet DAO to vote in the planet's elections, which again is quite a nice little feature. And you can utilize the Trillium to collect and to utilize to get different tools, or to get different weapons, to get different avatars, to get different menus. So the coin itself is a utility token for the entire game, but the user base itself is so damn large. During a bear cycle, I can see this absolutely exploding in the next bull cycle, because it just makes sense. Like if they're drawing in 500,000 visits a month at the moment, then when a bull cycle kicks in and you've got this huge excitement for crypto gaming again that will happen, Alien Worlds will be able to highlight their user base, will be able to highlight the fact that people can just sit and play and earn with very little effort. And this is, the statistics on everything they've done alone should be enough, where when there is a ton more retail investors coming into the space, the statistics on this will be staggering to new retail investors, and they will see the positives of this, and inevitably I think this will run really, really well in price. I mean, right now, let's refresh that, see if it works. I don't know why, internet's being very, very weird. No. So there we go. Yeah, it's just being off, isn't it? Being really off. Yeah, I'm really surprised at the level of growth that they've been experiencing. But it has been consistent. The last 3 months have been really, really good. It's up 20% this month from last month. So word of mouth is obviously something that's getting out around about Alien Worlds. Clearly, gamers that are mining are sharing that information with others in the space, who are then coming to Alien Worlds to, basically play the game, click mine, and start building up a hoard of currency. And the Trillium currency has a lot of utility because it is the in-game currency. And then you combine that with the fact that, it's a tradable currency on, projects like exchanges like Binance. This has got room. This has really got room to run. One thing I would like to see a little more of is like a time frame breakdown of the token economics, just so that we've got a fully transparent sort of release schedule. But I think that's kind of challenging, given that Trillium is earned based on the miners, Trillium is earned based on the players, and as the game is played more, I think we're going to see more produced. So it might be produced at a faster rate, but fundamentally, we're going to see probably quite significant growth in terms of market cap over the course of time as well. I mean, just look, the net increase, or the net balance of transactions was like 2.5 million in the past 24 hours based on DApp Radar. This is the total amount of value coming into the DApp smart contracts. That was 180,000. Then you've got the number of unique active wallets interacting with dApps. So over 243,000 different wallets interacting with dApps. So that means the gameplay is massively flying up. And nothing really touches it. I mean, nothing comes close to it. You know, even PancakeSwap has only had 116,000 different wallets interacting with it. Hooked only had 129,000. You know, the next sort of game that you can come to really is, for me, well, yeah, I suppose Farmers World and Splinterland. But the volume is nothing comparatively, and the user base, the unique wallet addresses, is nothing compared to it. It's a quarter. So Alien Worlds is really beginning to start taking a foothold in this space right now, within the gaming sector, because they are growing. And month on month, they have been growing. So I look at this and go, there's a lot of price potential here. Because fundamentally right now, it's quite a small market cap. It's got a market cap of 64 million. Now, this at its peak in the previous cycle, I think ran up to around, it launched and then dropped. So realistically, you want to look at like the spikes around here, which, to be fair, 37 cents. You know, you're looking at 37 cents, 42 cents. So that's sort of where we're looking, because obviously you can't take the launch situation too seriously, because the probability of it running up to $7 is very, very slim. That would put it in a market up at 21 billion. Doesn't mean it can't do it, but it's certainly less likely. But I'd be looking at 40 cents as a very, very achievable price point. 40 cents will put it in a market cap still well over $1 billion. That's still comfortably over a 20x. And it right now is the most played game in the space. And as I said, you know, the month of February compared to the month of January, there was over a 20% increase in users month on across and website visits. 500,000 website visits in a month. And again, just to contextualize it, obviously we're in a bear cycle. It was very, very different from what happened with Axie Infinity, because Axie Infinity was growing in the bull cycle. But you know, there was a point where they had sort of 50,000 users a month, and they were looking at a market cap of around like 3 billion, 4 billion. So Alien Worlds is not necessarily one to sleep on, but if you don't want to buy, you can still play the game. The game is very, very simple. It's very, very easy. You literally just have to create an account, create your, pick all your avatars, pick the planet that you want to mine on, and start mining. And you can start earning this currency. And this might be one that you want to hoard for the long term, because if their user base continues to grow month on month on month on month, I would expect that retail investors are going to flock into this in the next bull cycle. And if they share all those statistics, and if they really promote those statistics in a really effective marketing plan, this can rally just insanely well. Because 500,000 website visits is massive for a crypto game with a market cap of 64 million. I mean, it's insane. The 500,000 website visits for a gaming project in the top 100 would be massive. Yeah, huge, huge. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think this can do a significant run? I'm not understating it, going, you know, $7 is off the table. I think it is, but is $1? Maybe not. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're a returning viewer, hit the subscribe button. These videos are going to make you money, and they're going to save you money when I'm talking about crap coins, so do not miss them, guys. And before I get into the Fed stuff, if you guys want to see the coins that I own, you want to see my long-term investments, the coins that I'm holding in my portfolio, just head over to copymycrypto.com. On the site, I share my entire portfolio. I share every coin that I'm in. I break down the coins for the members. You know, this is the coin, these are the gains I think it can have, and this is the percentage of my money I'm putting in. And if they want to copy along, they can. If you want to have a spreadsheet that looks like this with these kind of profits, then go read the site. Remember that on the site we have tutorials set up, we have content released daily talking about the markets, and we have a history of success on the site. We've called massive winners on the site, and guys, if you want this kind of spreadsheet, then you want to go read it. And remember that anything that you actually read on the site, you can verify on this channel's history. And if after reading it you go, I'm not interested, don't worry about it, keep watching this channel. But if you do like it, maybe I'll see you on the site. And guys, last thing, Fed. So the Fed have said they are likely need to raise rates higher and possibly faster. That's what Powell has told lawmakers. So the Fed Reserve will likely need to raise interest rates more than expected in response to recent strong data, and is prepared to move in larger steps if the totality of incoming information suggests tougher measures are needed to control inflation. And so far, Fed Powell is having a very, very, very rough time at this Congress. He's getting asked a lot of hard questions. In particular, what has been interesting is the tone with which he's sort of approached everything with. You know, it's been quite negative in terms of the possibilities. You know, a statement that he said was, if the totality of the data were to indicate that faster tightening is warranted, we will be prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes. But the big thing is that, you know, Wednesday we've got all the data coming out about the jobs market in the US. That's going to have a very, very, very significant impact upon the statements that he's made today and the questions that he'll probably be asked. And you know, he came out and said the latest economic data have come in stronger than expected, which suggests that the ultimate level of interest rates is likely to be higher than previously anticipated. Yeah, it's quite an interesting one, because the remarks that he's made about the totality of implications, the totality of the data, have two implications. One, that the peak or terminal level of the federal funds rate is likely to be higher than the previous indication from the Fed officials, and two, that the switch last month to a smaller 0.25% point increase could be short-lived if inflation data doesn't come down faster. And that's sort of where, because we finally used the word disinflation in the previous meeting, in the previous Fed meeting. And obviously the fact that he hasn't, or that he believes that the inflation is not dropping fast enough, suggests that we may very, very well see a higher interest rate than expected, because pretty much all of us were expecting 0.25% in the next few Fed meetings. There is certainly a suggestion here now that we might see, 50 basis point hike incoming, and the markets are reacting very, very interestingly today as a result of all of this. And tomorrow is likely to be far, far, far more volatile, with the jobs data coming out combined with a continued grilling of Jerome Powell. Let's see how it goes, but yeah, higher rate hikes are going to mean greater negativity for the markets, so something to be aware of, folks. And that is it from me. Take it easy. Bye bye.